Hey guys, this is Benjamin from Joys of Pickleball. Quick update. So Jett has his tester tournament tomorrow. Him and his mom are already in Vegas. I'm headed up there now. I decided to get a room instead of driving up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get there on time. So I'm really interested to see how Jett does, because I think this is going to be a little bit more of a test for him than our first tournament, mostly because we had no expectations of like doing well. We were just going into it like, if we don't do well, then we know where we're at. If we do well, it'll be a surprise. Everybody's having fun. This one I think might be a little more serious. I know Jett really wants to do well, and it's going to determine like where he goes in terms of his lessons. So they're going to evaluate him, and then depending on where he's at, they're going to put him with one of two coaches. So I'm sure he's going to fight hard. I'm sure he's going to play hard, but how the mental game will be for him, I'm going to be interested to see. So the second thing we have for an update, and Jett doesn't know it yet, but I bought him a little surprise because he's been doing so well at pickleball. And if you saw our review of kids pickleball paddles, he's gone through the progression from, just the local sporting goods store paddle to the kids version of the one shot, and then he had the battle junior, and now he has a Jula Megalodon, which is really good paddle, honestly, especially for the money. But because we're doing paddle reviews, and I think that his game is progressing to the point where it makes sense. He already has a nasty forehand slice, and he's just starting to experiment with forehand topspin. So I bought him something that may have to do with the hat that I'm wearing here. I ordered myself the new Carbon 1X Power Series 16 millimeter because of the reviews by Chris and Will and Pickleball Studio and some of the other things I've been reading. I think it was the best fit for my game, and it's the latest generation. And one of the guys we play with actually got one of the Carbon 1X. His might be a 14 millimeter, I'm not sure, but he's an older guy. He's really good. He coaches a lot of people. And so I held it when he first got it, and I was like, oh, that's cute, but it wouldn't work for me because it's not elongated. And the handle's really short. In fact, after we did that guide on the kids' paddles, I think it actually might be the same size as the Megalodon that Jett already has. So I got to thinking, I was like, that might make the perfect paddle for Jett. And if not, we can review it, stick it in our quiver, and if we need it because the paddle breaks, or we decide that it's the right fit for somebody, then they can use it. And so I ordered him the Carbon 2X 14 millimeter, and he doesn't know it. And we're actually going to play tonight when I get up there. So I'm going to surprise him. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any video of the reveal just because of where we're going to be at and how it's going to go down. But I'm really excited as a dad. Like, I like getting nice stuff for my son. And because we're doing this as a more than a hobby now, theoretically, I guess I could write it off on my taxes. But if I'm being truly honest, I think the Carbon 1X 16 mil is not only the perfect paddle for Jett, it's also the perfect paddle right now for his mom. And his mom played in the 3 to 3-5 tournament, and she did okay. but she didn't do as well as Jett or I did. But she has Selkirk Invicta Power Air, like the latest and greatest power paddle. And she actually isn't at the point where she's putting a lot of intentional spin on the ball. And I think that paddle, I watched that paddle play, and it looks like it's kind of a beast to not only maneuver, but to control the power on. So, and I've read that you're, like, ideally you want to be a 4.5 plus to really get the most out of that paddle. So I think she's struggling with it a little bit. I think she would be better off to go back to a smaller paddle with a little more forgiving thickness and core material. And I don't know. I just think that 2X, the square version of the new Power Series from Carbon, would be perfect for her. But I don't suggest anything. I'm just going to be like, oh, you should try Jett's paddle. It's really neat. And then if she likes it, she'll buy one. I don't think she'll even admit that she's struggling with the one that she had. So anyway, the other reason why I got it is the grip is a hair longer than the Jula, from what I can tell. But the thought in my mind was I wanted the grip to be a little bit too long for Jett, to encourage him to get into the two-handed backhand. Just been watching all the pros. You know, it's not just women anymore. It's like the guys are really turning that into a weapon in certain instances. And, you know, since he's really young, he hasn't developed the grip strength, and his bones haven't grown into being the same structure as a man. So he's going to struggle with that one-handed backhand until, you know, he's fully mature. So I think it'd be good for him to establish a two-hand backhand now, and having that little bit of extra grip length is definitely going to encourage that experimentation. And I'm sure the coaches will get him into it too, because they've got to know anybody that's under like 14, 15 years old just does not have the bone structure and the development of the hand to really crack a one-handed backhand like a full-grown man can. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm just, again, I'm excited for Jett. He's having so much fun, and I'm having fun as a parent, like watching him grow and being able to support him in any way that I can. We played this morning for like an hour, and I went up for a slam. They literally popped it up where I had a backhand slam like twice in a row. And the second time I came down on my knee, and it was just like, it was like I hyperextended my knee, and then I came down on it hyperextended, and it just buckled. But we won the point. And anyway, so I'm kind of sore right now. So I only played for like an hour, but Jett played a lot. My biggest concern for him going into lessons is there's some basic stuff that he has not made a habit. And I feel like they're going to waste a lot of time ingraining those habits. Whereas if you just already had them developed, you could have went in there and really started going forward. Simple stuff like have a repetitive serve. Like he likes to take a step when he serves, which is fine. But sometimes he'll be too close to the line, and he'll realize he can only half step, and then it throws off his motion, and he ends up with not a missed serve, but he has a really good serve when he gives himself room. So that's one thing. The other thing that he doesn't do, he's quick, he's young, he's got lots of energy. He'll do just enough to get to the ball to hit a running shot, rather than getting there quick, settling, and then hitting a settled shot with his feet stable. So I would be shocked if they don't correct him on that right away. And then the third thing that he does, and it's really annoying when you're his doubles partner, is you'll be standing at the kitchen, and if he's not engaged in the hands battle, he's like literally standing with his legs locked, his hand on his hip, and his paddle down at his side. And then when somebody hits it to him, he's like, boop. and he's quick enough where he can get away with it most of the time against people that we normally play with. But eventually he's going to play people that are better than he is, that are quicker or just as quick, and he's not going to be having ingrained where it's like, okay, get your butt down, bend your knees, paddle up, expect the speed up, react to the slow ball. So I feel like, because I'm his dad. I've told him the same thing 100 times, and he just rolls his eyes. But my worry is that when the instructors tell him the exact same thing his dad's been telling him, he might not take too kindly. Like, I already know this stuff. Why are they teaching it to me? Well, it's because you're not doing it. Start doing it, and we won't keep saying it and wasting time talking about it. And I say that as a parent because he does listen. Like today, we were playing a team that was pretty good, and we were struggling a little bit. And he always likes to hit a return drive. So they serve, he hits his nasty forehand slice drive, which against weak players is a good shot because a lot of times they can't even return it, right? But against good players, it doesn't give you enough time to get up to the kitchen. So I was saying, hey, I know you want to drive the second shot, but just pop it up deep. It's like the one shot you want to pop up or can pop up. Pop it up deep. We'll rush the kitchen, and we'll be ahead in the point from there. So we started doing that, and he listened and executed it really well. But the problem is if I'm not standing there right there, like reminding him, it's not a habit yet. And that's what I want him to get to. I want him to have a good foundation of habits, like being ready at the kitchen, like having a repetitive service motion, getting set in the same spot every time, getting to the ball and settling your feet and then hitting, only hit on the run when you absolutely have to. Those kind of basic stuff, so that the coaches can focus on the technique. Like, here's how you hit a proper forehand with topspin. Here's how you hit a two-hand backhand. Here's how you hit an overhead smash, because I can look that stuff up on YouTube, but I think it would be a lot better to have somebody that has experience. And hopefully it'll be like soccer. Like, I coach soccer. We try and make it fun for the kids. So instead of just standing in line and doing repetitive drills, we make little mini games that kind of focus on the skills that they need to learn. So I think the biggest thing is just going to be getting that feedback from somebody who's way better than he is, who's not his mom and not his dad, and then just let him grow from there. So again, I'm super excited. I wish I could video the new paddle reveal, but I don't think that's going to work out. And but we'll have an updated review on the new paddle, hopefully sometime next week. We'll have tournament results. We'll have first lessons results, and some more info on our trip to St. George and Red Rock PPA event in April. That's it for now. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.